down second, but I'm going to do the JayBay early upshift special, and you can see how much easy that is. That is a real top tip there. So here we are for our fast laps. Here's JayBay. I'm going to follow him and we'll talk through what I'm doing, putting some of that into practice.
Here we go then. So
nice.
Looking out here for the bridge then, as we were saying, and braking just as it's about to go out of my vision. Coming around here and short shifting to get on the power early, and I'm using that wide line.
Yeah.
Looking for the tyre marks. Turning in for late apex on that curb.
Power earlier than you think here often.
Yeah, using all that curb for runoff. And now here we come to our mutually unappreciated section.
Just feels like the revs drop so low, but it's a weird corner.
And here I'm thinking, yeah, I've just kept it in the same gear, tiny. Well, taking a little bit too much of that sausage curve there, but
it's quite a hard reference to pick out sometimes, I'll be honest. Be very truthful, viewers and JayBay. Often I'm distracted reading chat and I'll have lost that box and then I've shot through. That's happened more than once. And here I think you're kind of apexing near that sausage a little bit off, aren't you?
Yeah, you're right. No, I've never noticed that before, but yeah, you are. On the sausage curb. And then, yeah, through here, on the brakes, under the sign, turning in. Just clip that nicely and then go for a full speed lap here now.
Nice.
So, let's see what we can do. Looking out for the 100 board. Seconds turn in, short shift to third, bit of a lift. Get the car over to the left here, and then lifting just to let the car turn in and getting back on the power. Under the bridge.
Yeah, I think third gear is fine through there.
Yeah, definitely in the Beetle and in the RCZ you're going to want to be in third. A lot of this is second turn in and third for powering out, I would say.
Yep. Using all of the runoff there.
Same thing there, I'm using second just to turn in for a moment and then third. That's a bit better through there that time. Using all the exit.
Just a reminder just how technical this track is. There's no respite really. I think this track gets quite an unfair rep, but when I have races here in against good competition, it's always very involving, and I feel when you've driven well you get rewarded, and unfortunately if you're not quite on it then it's brutal.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I love that with Bathurst as well, which is one of the tracks this week. It's absolutely gruesomely punishing when it doesn't go well, but when you get a good lap in, it feels so good.
Should we do one more, then maybe we'll swap it around? I'll try and lead and you can see how bad my lines are.
Yeah, sure, let's go for it.
Oh!
So that's the 100 metre break in that we're looking for there.
105.
Really important, I think, on this track and so many others, is to be patient with getting on the power as well.
Yeah.
You can gain a load of time sometimes just from waiting to feed that last little bit of throttle in just a fraction of a second longer.
Yeah. The other thing about this track that comes up in kind of longer races is tyre wear, and actually sometimes just being patient really looks after the tyres, and then by the end of it can make a huge difference.
I think probably the biggest thing that I learned in terms of gaining more speed on Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7 was waiting for the car to be slowed down before you do your turning.
Yeah.
So if you can start turning after the car has slowed down, you'll gain so much time, and it will look after the tyre wear at the same time as well. It's like a double whammy. I'll lift here and you can overtake then on the outside.
Right. Yeah, a few laps to get bedded in. There are different approaches to turn 1 in terms of whether you trail brake or not, so just instinctively it'll be interesting to see what I do. A little bit wide. I think ideally I want to be touching that curb, but it's more about the exit than the exact apex.
Yeah, you can definitely be a bit more liberal with your angles through there, but yeah.
So that's my title line
you
view. Did you
get
see? Kind of
just hugging the curve as you go around. Yeah.
I think I've apex to a bit early, but ooh.
Ooh, was that second on exit?
Yeah. You guessed it. Didn't do the quick upshift there. Can have the same thing happen here actually as well, because if you apply the throttle and you're still turning left, but you really in your mind you want to go right, car won't have it. And here I really love braking as late as I dare. They can catch me out.
The other thing you can do as well, if you are with the late braking, I mean, even if you brake a touch early and then you use a little bit of a lift off the brake just to let the car roll on a little bit more, that can still be very effective.
I often do that when I am thinking about overtaking as well. You just see if the other car's going to brake earlier and then you can release that brake if you want. Say it's not that easy in the Beetle, to be honest. It's
well, no, for anybody who saw my track guide on the Beetle versus the RCZ at Interlagos the other week, the Beetle is definitely a lot more of a handful.
Let's get brake a bit early that time and try and get over that sausage like that. It just really opens up this corner, a little hint of a lift. Get over to the left hand side. Could have gone over a bit more to the left hand side. A bit closer to the curb now.
And that line there, you got to hug the curb and then on the power.
And here I just like to be aggressive. And just any like rotation I can get by even a little stab of the throttle I quite like, but are two different philosophies for that corner. And braking where the tyre marks are down second, but I'm going to do the JayBay early upshift special, and you can see how much easy that is. That is a real top tip there.
Especially with the torque that Beetle's got. You see even some people shifting up into fourth to accelerate out of some slightly more high-speed corners, and it just absolutely pulls away that car. It's unbelievable.
So I made a mess of that. I think I maybe was on too far left when I turned in and quite get the turn in. You can really feel here when you get off the brake, you get that additional turn in. Just fantastic. This is a line I'm going to do coming out a little bit. It wasn't really a V, but that was kind of philosophy of that corner. And here I'm really going to try and sacrifice the speed now. I've carried in a bit too much, and you can see how it's really compromised me. But very tricky corner. And you do have to be mindful of the oversteer of the Beetle there, so I am lifting a little bit. But there we go, JayBay. I think that's hopefully some very helpful tips for a very, very, very tricky track. I hope people aren't put off by this track, because I personally think it is a bit of a gem. It can be a real driver's circuit, and hopefully, having watched this video and seen all the little tips and tricks we do often to maximise the track width and the point at which we're apexing, you actually look forward to it next time it comes up. Maybe we'll see you on track. Don't know if you've got any other thoughts. Sorry. Don't know if you've got any other thoughts, JayBay, before we wrap this up.
No, just thanks very much everyone who's stayed tuned with us. I know it's a bit of a longer video, but that's just pointing out in a bit more detail than we normally get to some of the key things that we're looking for on the track when we're breaking it down. And thanks to everybody who's come over from Kireth's channel lately and subscribed to JayBayRacing. As Kireth said, we've just broken 500 subscribers, and really appreciate that. So anybody who's watching this that hasn't come over, please do, and get involved in the track guides and the other GT7 content that we've got going on. Yeah,
and I'll put some other of JayBay's track guides up on the screen now. But if you do want to see more of this style, let us know in the comments, because we don't know or not whether you want to see these kind of things. So let us know in the comments if you want to see more like this, and we'd be happy to do it. But otherwise, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.